Sunderland 1, Tottenham 0, and it feels like Groundhog Day every single time we play. Roberto De Zerbi's first game as Tottenham Hotspur manager, and we didn't really see any real changes. That's the honest truth.
No.
Maybe 5 minutes at the start, a few patterns of play, a few nice intent pressing, a few chances at the beginning.
Passes moving a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, but the reality is it just got worse and worse and worse and worse as the game progressed.
Yep.
We've lost. Nottingham Forest have gained a point. West Ham have gained 3 points. Leeds played tomorrow night. So relegation is getting more and more real every single time we play. And the reality is, right, we can talk about refereeing decisions, we can talk about this, we can talk about that. But from what we're seeing, these players are going to need to want it a hell of a lot more than what they're showing on the pitch right now. Because that second half display, you go in at half time, you know, with the game firmly in the balance, and you're thinking, go out there and show that you fucking want it. They did not show that by any stretch of the imagination.
And I think that's the problem. Like we saw it. What our concern was, like, are they going to play like with intent for 90 minutes? But again, they did it for like 10 minutes in the first half at the beginning, and that was it. And then as the game went on, it got worse and worse, and they just. Again, it went back to the walking, the sulking, the heading. They feel like the game's done sort of thing, and the game's not even over yet. And the way it looked to us is what they were already checked out again. And
look, they go 1-0 up on the 61st minute. And after that, all you saw from the players was panic, 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 panic.
Yep.
No one had the ability to keep the ball. Everyone was just swinging boots at it, misplacing passes, no real intent. It was just so frustrating to watch. And you're looking at that game, trying to take something away from it going into that next game against Brighton. Because if we don't win next weekend, we can go further into the relegation zone, and it might even be, you know, take us 2 games to get out. Like right now, we're 3 points, or I think 2 points away from West Ham, right?
West Ham, yeah. And the thing is,
we have to get results. We have to get points as soon as possible.
We need to get points, because if West Ham can beat Wolves 4-0 like that, and Wolves have been playing really well lately, we need to pick up a win somewhere. We've got to pick up 3 points somewhere. But if we can't, then we are going to go down. That's as simple as that. Because they've now got more points than us, and we thought maybe West Ham might do worse, but they're actually looking good again. Yeah, they played really well against Wolves, so we've got to find somewhere within these players' souls that they need to kind of look at themselves really and try and motivate themselves to get out of this. Because do they even care? To me it feels like they don't even care that it's going to be on their record, that it's going to be on their CV that they've taken a club like Spurs down. I don't think they care.
Well, some players might find it as an easier way to get out of the club.
Yeah,
that's the reality.
So.
I've been saying that for months. What you said before about finding, they need to go real soul searching, these players.
They do.
Because look, it's all well and good, you know, showing a bit of intent for 5 minutes, but if you just show it for 5 minutes, you're going to get beat more times than anything.
Especially in the Premier League. Like the Premier League is such a ruthless league in terms of, like, you have to give your all 100% of the time. Because if you switch off for any moment in the Premier League, you're going to get punished. Most likely you will. And this is the problem. Like, these players, it's like there's just not even an attempt to shoot. They're just nothing. It's just nothing there. The passes are overhit, crosses are overhit, or not enough players in the box, not enough players making runs. You saw it in the first 5 to 10 minutes. The players were doing pass and moving. You think, okay, you're starting to see a little bit of what they were doing in training, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, it kind of tailed off. And in the second half, it just went completely what we've been seeing in the last sort of 4 months, which is the players just standing around. When players are breaking, no one's making any movements. No one's helping their teammates out. No communication. It's just like there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing there. And I don't know. It's just the way it looks now. It's looking more and more likely that we're going to go down purely because these players just don't care enough.
It does look like it. And I've spent the last 3 weeks being like, nah, we're not going to go down. We're going to get something out of this Sunderland game. And it's just like, I do this every single game. I like go into it, say, yes, come on, we're going to get something. I put the fucking past defeat into the back of my mind. I'm like, all right, next game's the game that we're going to turn it around. And I thought after the first 5 minutes, all right, maybe there's something there. But there is literally just nothing there. And it's at
hard.
This stage, it feels like it's going to take a miracle for us to survive.
I think it will. I mean, what's the stat that a manager coming in this late into a season at a team in the position that we've been in, I don't think anyone's ever turned it around.
Yeah.
So everything's against us. But look, we know we've seen stranger things happen in football. We've seen some crazy things. But at this moment, it's really hard to try and be optimistic that we're going to stay up. Even though I'm crazy to think that we might still stay up. It is looking more likely that we're not going to stay.
That is the crazy thing, right? Because there is nothing to suggest. There is nothing I've seen to suggest that Spurs can stay up. But there is a big part of me saying we are going to stay up. Because I just can't envisage us playing Championship football next season.
That's probably what it's like. I think a lot of fans, I don't think, are going to understand the actual reality of what it's going to be like to play in the Championship next year. Because I don't think anyone in our lifetime, we ever thought we'd actually see us get relegated.
But you look at the teams around us, they've all shown an ability to be able to get points on the board.
Yeah.
West Ham won 4-0 this week, and that is going to be a massive confidence booster. Not only that, but they've shown before that an ability to get points on the board. And Nottingham Forest, they've picked up 5 points in their last 3 games.
And these teams all brought in players in the January window, and we refused to do it. And I think that's going to be the biggest mistake that this board have made ever in the tenure of this football club.
And I'm trying so hard. Like I'm trying so hard just to stay positive and to back the team and have belief that we're going to stay up. But as every game passes, it just becomes harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, it's hard to. I don't think I'd say I'm positive when it comes to Spurs. I'm more realistic, right? I still think there is until it's completely mathematically out of the question, we're going down. I still think there's a chance we can stay up. I'm not saying that we will. I think there is a chance. I believe that we will, purely because of what we were talking about. But it is every game that goes by, it's kind of just looking worse and worse for us. And it just looks like where are we seeing the hope from? Where are we kind of seeing where the players even want it? Do they even want it? Or do they genuinely want to they don't want to be here anymore?
Look, for us to be able to survive, we're going to need to see fight in this team.
Yeah, and right now we still haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it. There's 6 games to go, Danny. 6 games.
Yes, I know, it's terrible.
It's like we're running out thick and fast. Like on that evidence and that basis, can we really say that we're going to go and beat Brighton at home next week?
On that evidence, no.
That's what I'm saying. So where are they going to find this from?
But it would be crazy if Spurs somehow pull off a win in some way. But I think they need to go back to what they were doing when they were grinding out some kind of points. When just before Frank left, and we were getting some kind of points, and we were playing like rubbish, but at least we were optimizing like the corners and stuff like this. And I don't think we've done that enough. I know you said the coach is still there, the set piece coach, but maybe they're not even practicing it anymore because they're doing more of the basics. But is that really helping? Because they can't even do the basics still. I mean, I can't understand how professional footballers can't pass a ball when you've been playing with a ball at your feet since you're a kid.
Yeah.
And you've been playing football for 10, 15 years, and you're training every single day with a football, and yet you can't make a 5-yard pass, or you overhit it constantly, your crossing is awful. I mean, how many times today did Porro overhit a cross? So many times. And it's like he's supposed to be the best cross in our team. And when you've got the best cross in the team not playing well, where's the crossing going to come from?
And every time we got into a decent position today, the defining shot was always just so weak and so tame. How many efforts did we have? Like all our efforts basically today, meat and drink for Robin Lewis. It was. The only chance that we had that we forced a decent save out of him was that Porro one at the end.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it was just so easy for him.
Yeah, because there were Richards had 2 or 3, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Solanke at the end of the first half.
Solanke had one as well, yeah. And they were just all poor. They were just, every single one of them was poor.
Now, I'm looking at these players, like, out of anyone on that pitch, does anyone come out with any credit? The only one for me, it seems like Kinski, and maybe potentially Gray, which he probably shouldn't have been taken off when he was taken off.
I think the only other player,
the changes didn't make sense for me today.
No, the only other player I would have said I didn't understand was taking Richarlison off, because I thought even though he wasn't great, he was our most lively player. He was looking like the one who was trying to do something. I know he had some tame shots and stuff like this, but no one else was giving us anything, and he was giving us something. And it's not a lot to give, but it was more than what the others were giving us. Dominic Solanke, again, is just completely anonymous. Like, I didn't even notice he was on the pitch in the second half.
Literally, he was shocking.
He come back after his injury, had 4 or 5 good games, scored some goals in Champions League and in the Premier League and etc. And then he's just, after the last kind of 4 or 5 games, he's just been anonymous. Like, he's been awful. And Richarlison's looked like the better striker, and yet Dominic Solanke still is getting picked up front by different managers, and I can't work it out. I can't work out why Xavi Simons didn't play again.
Well, they waited until 85 minutes to bring on Xavi.
I don't understand.
Like, I said to you at the time during the game, 61st minute the goal goes in. At that point, we've got 3 changes ready to go. We've got Paulinho, we've got Pape Matar and Matisse Tel, right, all ready to come on. Those are the changes that he's making at 0-0.
Yeah, and then as soon as
surely, if we go 1-0 down, you have to rethink that, and you have to bring on a Xavi. We need more creative play. Like, why is he bringing on Paulinho at 1-0 down?
It's strange, because you'd think that the Zerbi, being the manager that he is, he'd want to put on more attacking players, but for some reason he didn't. And whether that's something to do with Xavi and the way he is in training, I don't know. But every manager seems to have some kind of weird thing with Xavi, and he's not any manager's favourite yet. But what's more weird about it is that De Zerbi was talking him up in the press conferences.
To be fair, De Zerbi was talking everyone up in the press conferences.
Yeah, he's probably trying to do what we've been saying, like,
give him a bit of confidence.
They're best players.
Because I felt it was a good tactic, because Thomas Frank, he was talking everyone down. He was saying, look, we were 17th last season. We're not this, we're not that. I don't like it. Like, I don't think it gives the players confidence. I think, you need to raise their level instead of like beating them down. You know what I mean? And he never said. He always came out and was like, "Oh, I've only got one world-class player here in Pedro Porro."
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Pedro Porro's not even world-class, I don't think.
Well, that's what he said. So I mean, I'm looking at these players' performance today. I thought Odogui got worse and worse as the game wore on. I thought Porro was pretty rubbish today. Awful. I thought Gallagher had decent first half. He went terrible in the second half. Richarlison, I thought Richarlison was one of the only ones actually fighting for the time he was on the pitch.
Yep.
Bergvall was frustrating me so much. Like,
he kept losing the ball.
The thing is about Bergvall, at least he's trying things, but he's just losing the ball consistently. Time and time again.
This is why I say, Ben, players like Bergvall are not ready for this level, because at this level, you can't keep doing the same mistakes over and over again. I'd understand it if he's shooting on goal and he's if he was a Bruno Fernandes, right, and he was doing he was our most creative player, and he was creating a lot of chances. He was putting some great through balls going through and all this kind of stuff. And he's losing the ball. I can understand it. But when he's not doing anything else and he's losing the ball constantly, all he's doing is adding more pressure onto our defense. Because you lose the ball and we gain it back, and he's lost it again, and he's lost it again, and he's lost it again, and it's just straight on the attack again. And that is the most frustrating thing. And this is why I say, like, players like Bergvall are just not ready for this level. They're just not.
And then we got the Romero situation to talk about as well. So whatever you think about Romero, we still need him from now to the end of the season if we're going to get out of this. And it looks like that's probably not going to happen now.
Yeah.
De Zerbi has come in 10 days ago now. Yeah. In his first week, Kudus is about to be back. He's out for the rest of the season, pretty much needs surgery. Yep. And now it looks like Romero's probably going to be out for the rest of the season as well. It's just like, can any managers ever get any luck at this football club?
Nope, definitely not. Not for a long time anyway. And it doesn't help when you can't create your own luck, because we've got a board like the board we have who don't help the situation. They only make things worse. So it makes it even harder to create your own luck, because I believe you can create your own luck, but it helps when you've got everyone kind of pulling in the same direction. Clearly, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
You've got players pulling in different directions. You've got a manager who wants to get more out of the players. You've got a board who don't even know what they're doing. You've got Langer who has got no idea how to do his job. And it's not a coincidence that since he's come in and he left Villa have gone up to the level they are.
100%.
And we've gone to a team that's basically going to go to relegation. So for me, it's kind of like we need to start also looking at next season. And for me, if Langer and Vinay are still there, then I've got no hope that we're going to get back up. Like if we go down, that's the worrying thing.
These guys, they have to lose their job at the end of the season.
Yeah, no doubt.
They have to.
No doubt.
There can't be. There is nothing to tell you or nothing to suggest why they should keep their job.
No.
Nothing.
But again, the only thing that tells me that they could keep their job is because the people above them have got no idea what they're doing. Yeah. So they'd rather keep them than have to sack him and bring someone else in or find someone else. That's the only thing that I think. But
if we go down this season, and it's looking very likely that we can, this board have just got so much blood on their hands. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable how they can let an institution the size of Tottenham, with the facilities that we have, get relegated into the Championship. Like, how is that even a possibility?
They clearly didn't care enough because... Yeah, they clearly didn't care enough because they could have done something in the January window. The fact that they bring in players like Kolo Muani on loan and are given Pauline as a good player on loan, you would have thought, okay, then why don't you just bring in some players on loan or some free or whoever just to help get by to the rest of the season, so we don't have to worry about going down, because it's going to be catastrophic if we go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's just a sad state of affairs at this football club, and I genuinely just don't know where to turn anymore. It's just like, like I said, you know, I try so hard to get positive and to believe in this team, and every game I'm like, maybe this is the game, but it's not coming, is it?
Not at the moment.
It's not coming.
We're not seeing it. We're not seeing
every game. There's nothing to take away from it and being like, next game's the game.
Yeah, we're not seeing any fight. We're not seeing nothing. There's nothing that we're getting from this football team.
And you talk about the January transfer window, and we had this conversation at the time about selling Brennan Johnson. And it's like, yeah, fine, sell Brennan Johnson. I've got no problem with selling Brennan Johnson, but you cannot sell him if you don't bring in a replacement.
That is just,
it's just
I don't understand
there's no thought to it.
As much as I wanted Johnson gone, I didn't want him to be in the Tottenham team anymore. But I was basing that on the fact that I didn't think that we'd get rid of him and then not bring in someone.
They sold him on the first day of the window, right?
So they had the whole window.
Not only that, but Kudus got injured the day after that.
Yeah, and
so they had a whole month to bring someone in.
They didn't. Yeah.
And it's not like, you know, they say, oh, January's a hard month to do business. What bollocks? Because Bournemouth bought in Ryan, you know, Fulham bought in Oscar Bob.
Yep.
These players would have been valuable for us from January.
They could have done something,
season.
yeah. I would have taken them on loan. I would have taken some players to help, but they haven't done it. And
now we're stuck with this squad that have no mentality to get out of this.
Completely unbalanced.
And it's just like, what are we hoping for here?
And also,
there's no belief in this team. You can see it. There's no fight in this team. You can see it.
Yeah, it's just. I don't know what's going to happen. The way it looks right now, it looks like we're going down. Right, that's what it looks like. I don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Or where we're going to pick up points at the moment. Because we're worse at home than we are away. So, Brighton at home, are we going to get anything from that game? Don't know. No idea at the moment.
Who have we got after Brighton? After Brighton, I think we got like Villa away or something, don't we? No, Wolves. Wolves away, then Villa away.
Lovely. It's a great combination right there.
It's like, I can't see us getting any points with the way we're playing out of any of those 3 games.
Oh, Nick was saying, wasn't he, the other day, that he thinks we're only going to get 2 points and we're going to go down. I was saying from the last, now 6 games, we'll get 4 to 6. And I thought maybe that would be enough. That could still be enough, but if West Ham go and win again, that's now 5 points ahead. If they win their next game, we lose our next game. Who's
West Ham got Palace next. Palace away. I mean, Palace just had a decent result in beating Newcastle today, but
we'd need Palace to beat West Ham, and just for even us to even have a still be in the fight.
Well, Leeds are 3 points above us with a game in hand, but Leeds got to go Old Trafford tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's could be
They play Wolves next and then Bournemouth away. I mean, Leeds have got some decent, difficult games.
They do.
I don't know,
of these teams, Forest and Forest and West Ham right now are the teams that are looking like they want to be in the Premier League. And
they are fighting for their club. They are fighting.
We look like the team that don't care.
They are picking up points.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you need to do in this stage of the season. We cannot. We haven't won in 2026.
Yeah,
we haven't won in over 100 days.
It's insane. It's just mad.
This is Tottenham Hotspur we're talking about. And it just seems as though these players are just sleepwalking to the Championship.
Yeah, clearly. And I'd be interested to see who actually thinks they're better than Spurs, better than Tottenham Hotspurs, if that was to happen. Because I reckon there's going to be a lot of players who think they're better than this football club.
Well, let them go. Let them go.
I want them to go, but I'm saying that none of them deserve to, because they've all been absolutely atrocious. And they all deserve to play. To be honest, they all deserve to play in the Championship the way they played this season.
Yeah, it's true. When you're looking at it, I've always said to you, Danny, that I feel like the quality of the players that we have are better than what we're showing right now. However, on the flip side of that, what they've shown this season, they've shown that they should be going down. They should be getting relegated.
Last season as well. I know it's different, but on the overall of last season, apart taking out the Europa League, we still lost 22 games in the league. And maybe, I'm not saying it is, but maybe the psychological effect of
getting too used to losing,
because we had to focus on that, and that's why we were seeing more intermittent results in the Champions League, because it was a knockout tournament, and we seemed to be playing better football in the Champions League. Obviously, it's different football anyway in general, but where they were so used to being allowed to lose because we were focused on something else, that it kind of just followed through to the season, and they were still not really trying, and they've forgotten how intense the Premier League is, so they're just not playing as intensely as they need to actually compete in this division.
Yeah, all right.
That's what it looks like, but yeah.
Well, there you have it. Sunderland 1, Tottenham 0. Spurs just getting closer and closer to that drop. Let's get into a few super chats before